There are moments in history that feel less like events and more like something that was already written. In the final days of the Civil War, as victory finally came into view, Abraham Lincoln should have been resting easier than he had in years. The weight of the nation was beginning to lift, and for the first time in a long while, there was a sense that the end of the conflict was near. But something wasn't right. His sleep had grown restless, not in a vague or forgettable way, but in a way that lingered, as if his mind was trying to hold on to something just out of reach. Then one night that feeling took shape. Lincoln later described finding himself walking through the White House alone in the dark. The halls were familiar but completely empty, stripped of life that normally filled them. At first there was only silence, then he heard it. Soft sobbing somewhere in the distance. It wasn't loud, but it was steady enough to pull him forward. He moved through room after room, following the sound, each step deepening the unease that had settled over him, until it led to the east room. The doors stood open. Inside, the silence gave way to mourning. A small group had gathered, standing still, their attention fixed on something at the center of the room. There, laid out before them, was a body, guarded by soldiers. Lincoln, confused by what he was seeing, turned and asked the question anyone would have asked. Who has died? The answer came without hesitation. The president. He was killed by an assassin. Lincoln woke from the dream shaken, but not in the way most dreams fade. This one stayed with him. He spoke about it in the days that followed, recounting it with a clarity that unsettled those who heard it. And then only days later, history caught up. On the evening of April 14th, 1865, Lincoln attended a play at Ford's Theater. The war was ending, the mood was light, and for a moment it seemed like the future might finally bring peace. But before the night was over, a single gunshot would change everything. What makes the story endure isn't just what happened, it's the possibility that somehow he had already seen it. Not as a warning he could stop, but as something waiting for him. And if that's true, it leaves behind a question that's harder to answer than the story itself. Was it just a dream, or a glimpse of something he was never meant to escape? If moments like this, where history feels like it's hiding something, pulls you in, follow the mystery effect.